When the Iranian Ministry of Defense made public the image of Tehran's night sky torn by streams of anti-aircraft fire, with explosions lighting up the ground one after another, the Israeli Air Force's carefully orchestrated raid, in which the F-35, a stealth fighter, played the leading role, was superficially effective, but in fact, it exposed the vulnerability of the technological myth. Is this $110 million sky ghost really as invincible as Israel wants it to be under Iran's complex air defense network? The answer may be far from simple. As the first Asian country to equip the F-35, the Israeli Air Force has previously demonstrated the stealth fighter's sharpness in Syria, Lebanon and other places. But this deep into the Iranian hinterland airstrikes, the strategic significance is very different. Iran's air defense system, far from Syria and other countries, can be compared. However, analysis by European defense think tanks pointed out that the Israeli F-35 fleet, with its powerful electronic warfare pods and well-designed low-altitude infiltration tactics, managed to penetrate the sky net woven by long-range alert radars such as the S-300. Clear images circulating on social media show that the missiles accurately hit a number of military targets around Tehran, although Iranian officials claim to have shot down a number of Israeli drones. But its ground anti-aircraft firepower in the night sky is fierce, but blindly poured out, more like a kind of suppressed after the sadness and helplessness. Behind the technological success, the stealth price paid by Israel is surfacing. The F-35's proud stealth performance is not magic, but is realized through extremely sophisticated radar-absorbing materials and complex aerodynamic shapes. Every time it crosses airspace filled with anti-aircraft fire, it means that the expensive stealth coating is eroded by hot air currents, sand and dust, and possibly even shrapnel. More critically, when the Iranian air defense forces of the radar beam repeatedly scan the night sky, even if it is not stable lock, these are collected by the F-35. Reflective signal characteristics will become the future to crack the key puzzle of its stealth suit. A former U.S. Air Force electronic warfare officer anonymously disclosed, every F-35 flying over enemy territory is leaking its own electronic fingerprints to the adversary. On this night over Tehran, the IAF may have won the tactical objective, but it pawned off part of its technological superiority for the future at the strategic level. The technical success of the operation could not hide the strategic dilemma. Israel has long relied on the F-35 to build air hegemony, and its stealth fighter plus precision-guided weapons model has formed a downward strike against Syria, Yemen and other places. However, Iran, with its unique geographical depth and strategic foresight, has long been the key missile arsenal and nuclear facilities hidden in the strong underground bunkers and winding mountains, constructing a strong asymmetric defense system. Arab military observers hit the nail on the head. F-35 can break through the radar network, but cannot shake these deeply buried underground, the country's most important weapon. When the smoke from the explosion cleared, Iran's retaliatory missile capability remained, and may even have been provoked to become more assertive. Technological superiority is now running up against a brick wall of physical defense and strategic will. Iran's underground military engineering is a modern-day version of the Persian labyrinth. Buried nearly 80 meters beneath the mountains near the city of Qom, the Fordo nuclear facility consists of multiple layers of reinforced concrete and blast-resistant structures strong enough to withstand a direct hit from the most powerful U.S. Army GBU-57 jumbo drill bomb in service. And in the mountains along the Strait of Hormuz, the Iranian Revolutionary Guards have built underground missile cities stretching hundreds of kilometers, storing thousands of ballistic and cruise missiles. Connected by a complex network of tunnels and equipped with independent power supplies, ventilation and command systems, the depth, dispersion and camouflage of these great underground walls have rendered satellite reconnaissance and traditional precision strikes nearly ineffective. The munitions carried by the F-35, even if they could accurately hit the hole, would not reach the torrent of missiles stockpiled deep inside. A Western defense analyst bluntly stated, Israeli stealth fighters can fly over Iran but cannot penetrate its mountains. The Iranians have turned the entire mountain into a shield, and behind the shield are spears ready to be fired. In the shadow of the technological myth, Israel is caught in a self-reinforcing quagmire. Every successful F-35 raid seems like a display of muscle, but it is like drinking hemlock, dragging itself deeper into the quagmire of its security dilemma. Instead of destroying Iran's underground counterattack claws, it may stimulate the adversary to accelerate the development of anti-stealth radar, more advanced electronic countermeasures and more difficult-to-detect missile technology. This technological superiority dependence syndrome brings is the strategic objectives of the blurred and regional conflict intensity spiral. More profoundly, Israel's absolute dependence on the F-35 is narrowing its strategic options. High procurement and maintenance costs eat into precious defense budgets and squeeze resources for the development of other critical capabilities. At the same time, this dependence deepens its strategic bondage with the U.S. military-industrial complex, limiting Israel's autonomy in decisions that involve core U.S. interests. When stealth fighters became the only weapon capable of penetrating Iran's defenses, Israel's military options became entrenched in the raid retaliation cycle, making it difficult to break out of the escalation spiral. The U.S. empire's bad luck and Israel's predicament are clear. When the superpowers try to turn the stealth fighter into a geopolitical scepter, Israel is trapped in the paradoxical circle of technological leadership and strategic quagmire. The F-35 as sharp edge pierced Iran's airspace, but it was unable to penetrate the national will and determination of vengeance buried deep underground. The flash of explosion after each breakthrough of the air defense network not only illuminates the target, but also inevitably reflects the cracks under the surface of the technological myth. After this airstrike, a more symbolic question surfaced. Is it true that Israel's valuable F-35 was touched by Iranian air defense fire? Although the Western mainstream media and Israeli officials have vehemently denied any loss of the aircraft, Iranian officials and some pro-Iranian media have continued to release news of the downing of an advanced stealth target and hinted at the recovery of key debris. More intriguingly, a blurry video has been circulating on social media, showing the wreckage of a burning vehicle crashing in the mountains of western Iran, with a profile that does not match any known drone or missile type. While the authenticity of the video is difficult to discern, it is enough to make waves in the court of public opinion. If an F-35 did indeed fold in the Persian skies, the strategic shock would far outweigh the tactical loss itself. This not only means that Iran may be through the Russian advanced air defense systems or secretly deployed anti-stealth radar to obtain a key breakthrough, but also marks the end of the West proud of the 5th-generation aircraft cannot be defeated myth. Its chain reaction will quickly spread. The United States in the global marketing of F-35 political and military credibility will be hit hard. Potential buyers of the procurement of determination may be shaken. France's Dassault Aviation will be embarrassed to find that its efforts to promote the Rafale fighter in the bidding is often F-35, invincible halo, suppressed, and once the halo broken, the market pattern will be reshaped. More importantly, it sends a clear signal to the world: stealth is not insoluble, and then advanced technology also has its destiny. This, shooting down the cloud of suspicion, itself, regardless of the truth, has eroded the F-35 untouchable deterrent image at the psychological level. Tehran's night sky fire gradually extinguished, but the real storm may be brewing deep underground. When the Israeli pilots drove the valuable steel behemoth back to the flight, they brought back not only the completion of the mission report, but also a lingering question: next time, when the Iranian missiles from those who cannot be destroyed by the F-35 cave in the sky, cutting through the Israeli night sky, which cost hundreds of billions of dollars to build a technological hegemony of the spear, where should it be thrust? In this ancient and unending land of strife, the arrogance of technology will eventually have to face the thickness of the will, and the latter, often buried deep under the earth, waiting for the time to break through the ground.